and welcome to the 6th episode of the Vendée Mag. Coming up, a storm reshuffles the cards in the Indian Ocean. This week's expert is Jan Eilier, 5th in the 2016 Vendée Globe. And we catch up with social media content creator Jules Lecour. With his passion for the Vendée Globe, his number of followers has shot up, especially on TikTok. So, here we go.
Gosh! Waves are coming in every direction. It's like a giant cauldron. I hit the ceiling even in my bunk.
40-knot gusts, 6-metre waves and an air temperature of just 4 degrees. A weather report to make even the most seasoned sailors shudder. But not Charlie Dalin or Sébastien Simon. Their gamble paid off. The two wily sailors headed straight for the heart of the low-pressure area moving directly east, which propelled them 300 miles ahead of the chasing pack.
I'm running as fast as I can. Every metre gained eastwards means a bit less sea and a touch less wind when the front's caught up. So I'm racing with the low. Look at that mountain.
By contrast, Johan Rischom and Thomas Rouillon chose to skirt the low-pressure system to the north, a more conservative and less profitable option, and ultimately no less fearsome.
I've had a really tough night. The sea's at its roughest with 8 to 9 metre troughs. I saw a swell train pass and its length and depth were mind-blowing. I've come out of it quite well, really, because I've been the worst hit of the group. It's not as fast as I'd like, but that's the way it is. And Charlie's going a bit faster than I'd like too. I hope there'll be some good opportunities to catch up with the front runners. A gap has opened up, that's for sure.
At dawn on day 26, the signal sent by the second part of the fleet left no room for doubt. They were sailing more than 1,500 miles to the west, and they too were in the clutches of a solid low-pressure area whilst rounding the Cape of Good Hope. One contender didn't emerge unscathed. In the early afternoon, race management received a call from the Emoca Bureau Valet. Louis Burton reported serious mechanical damage to his rigging. The skipper from St Malo, 3rd in the last Vendée Globe, was forced to retire from the race.
I'm devastated, but I've decided to retire from the Vendée Globe. I've weighed up all the pros and cons, and I've come to this decision. I'm sure it's the right one.
On Sunday 8th of December, the battered boat and despondent skipper entered the South African port of Cape Town. His team immediately set to work to make the vessel safe and determine what happened.
The forward structural cable supporting the mast broke, so there was a very high risk of dismasting, even under normal use, and that's what persuaded me to U-turn. It hurts, obviously. It's several years of hard work. A big team worked on this project and the boat, but we have to show seamanship and not be stubborn, because there was a risk of breaking everything, losing the boat, and endangering the people who might have come out to look for her. So that's that. I've got some serious damage. I've just broken 3 battens in an accidental jibe in the front. Damn.
The Indian Ocean is a dream catcher, and it can quickly turn into a nightmare.
Damn it, there's a 50-knot wind coming. I've got to bring down the mainsail and fix these damn battens. 3 of them. Hope I've got enough stuff to fix them. Damn it!
I was adjusting my foil and something broke in the foil ram bracket. Damn it! There's never a right time for a problem, but it came just as I was accelerating to 20 knots. So now I've had to slow right down and try and limit the damage, so there are no further problems.
The front passed and all of a sudden we had 75 knots in the tail. And everything just broke. It's gone.
Il y a une vague qui a éclaté, qui a fissuré.
A wave has cracked the skylight. It's holding up for the moment.
Donc,
Earlier, the same on the starboard side. But it didn't just crack, it broke, so I had to piece the three bits back together.
là, il a fallu faire un pulse.
It's not the same when there are no skylights.
Parce que quand il y a plus les bulles,
It's more like a submarine here.
C'est-à-dire que là où je suis, là, c'est sous-marin.
The sun always rises eventually on the Vendée. After two accidental jibes, Japanese sailor Kojiro Shiraishi diverted northeast to carry out repairs.
I must stop crying and start work on the mainsail track. I'll work hard. I haven't given up yet. Perseverance. That's the Vendée Globe spirit.
The Vendée Globe spirit. Resilience, where every little step becomes a major triumph.
Yes! I fixed it. Christ, I'm exhausted.
I Chinese jibed, which means my boat veered completely and heeled. It was really hard to get her back, but she's fine. Nothing's broken, and I can carry on. I'm looking after myself and my boat.
The sea is wonderfully blue. You can't really see the sea state.
The
Southern Ocean is very demanding. The slightest distraction, the slightest lack of concentration, and immediately you'll be punished. You need to be fully focused all the time. You need to have slept well, and so on. And that's what I haven't done over the past 24 hours. And I need to find that rhythm in the south. I am tired.
At the head of the Dagobord contingent, King Jean was flying in the Southern Ocean.
That's my personal best. 32 knots in the Southern Ocean. That's not bad at all. So we've averaged 22 knots over 24 hours. That's quite awesome.
Wrap up warm, we're heading back eastwards. The middle of the fleet approached the Kerguelen Islands, the last bit of land in view for quite some time.
I don't know if you can make anything out, but I can see Penguin Island there in the gloom.
You hear the foils whistling all the time. That's why I sometimes put a headset on. It's calmed down a bit the last 5 minutes. It does you good to get out. It's been some time since I enjoyed a little ray of sunshine like that.
Behind the low, the chase after leader Charlie Dalin resumed. Thomas Rouillat and Johan Richomme attempted to claw back their deficit. 300 miles separated them from Massif Santerre-Prévoyance.
He made the right choice. We made our minds up at roughly the same time. I thought his strategy was a bit too risky, but it's turned out in his favour. Well played. There. The conditions have been wonderful since this morning. The swell is in the right direction, and it's quite tidy. We have the right angle too. We're sailing very fast. I have to zigzag as I've got an easterly wind, whereas our friends behind, they've got onto the new system and they're heading directly east.
No one yet knew, but Sébastien Simon, who'd been running a perfect race and was flying in second place, had suffered serious damage to his Amoca. His starboard foil had broken in two and was unusable. On a port tack, his boat's performance was immediately reduced by 30% without this stabiliser.
The boat is completely different without this appendage. It provided power and kept her flat. Well, now she really is a completely different boat. She has a 20-degree heel, and I'm not used to sailing at angles like this with a foiler. Well, that's the way it is. I admit, it's hard to take in. I don't really like talking about it. It's hard for us all. Fortunately, I've got my sponsor, Groupe Dubré, my team, and my family all behind me. It's tough though, all the same. However, the race isn't done yet. I'll go on to the end.
Despite the damage, Simon managed to maintain a steady speed. He had no choice. Resumen was less than 200 miles behind.
There's a steady 35 to 40 knots, 36 on average I'd say. I'm ploughing on because I'm trying to head south to avoid jibing later. I'm trying to surf with this strong wind towards the ice zone. I'm a bit closer to the leaders who are having to jibe. Thomas isn't far behind. This is going to slam hard. The boat's surviving well. It's amazing how the boat comes out every time.
Charlie Dalin, who'd been setting the pace for 8 days, reached the second cape of this Vendée Globe, and with disconcerting ease, the Massif Santé Prévoyant skipper wiped 15 hours off Michel Desjoyeau's record set in 2008 for the Cape of Good Hope to Cape Lewin section.
That's it. I'm first around Cape Lewin. Yes! I was having a nap actually when I crossed the longitude. I'm under Australia now. Cool. A super Indian Ocean section that went rather well. I'm really happy to round this second iconic cape of the Vendée Globe in the lead. That's great.
All eyes were focused on the calm Pacific Ocean, but a good stretch of the Indian Ocean still lay ahead, and at that moment it felt like a war zone.
We're being tossed about. It's hard to eat, care for myself and look after the boat. I still have a few jobs to do, but it's moving too much.
21 Imocas, more than half the fleet, are still in its midst, each keenly preparing for battle.
My little hairbrush. I'm not sure it will do much good, but I'll give it a go.
What do you think? Shall I leave half like that?
Sébastien Marseille has even put up his own round-the-world tent.
There's a camping feel to the boat and life aboard. The protection, you see, closes off the boat's cockpit and really prevents drafts and water getting into the cockpit. The stove? The aim is to inflate my new Southern Ocean mattress. It'll keep me nice and warm in my bunk. Now, all I need to do is go to bed and get some sleep, which I'll do quite soon.
As the leaders prepared to enter the Pacific, our thoughts turned to the Hungarian sailor Szabos Juarez on his boat New Europe. He was still in the South Atlantic, the backmarker of the 38 IMOCAs still racing. He's expected to round the Cape of Good Hope in just over a week. Let's hope for his sake that the roaring forties won't roar too ferociously.
I'm delighted
to be here with Jan Elias, a three-time Solitaire du Figaro and Transat Jacques Vabre champion and two-time Vendée Globe racer. Hi, Jan.
Hi, Christian, thank you.
So, what's your initial assessment of Charlie Dallin's rapid crossing of the Indian Ocean, leading the fleet?
It feels like just a week since they crossed the equator, and here they are, almost teleported. I think it was Charlie Dallin who used that word, to just below Australia. That's incredible. I'm really in awe, because being familiar with these boats and having sailed on them at high speed, it's not easy. And the living conditions on board, well, honestly, they're dreadful.
You'd know, you've taken part in 2 Vendée Globe races. What do you remember about this ocean?
It's an ocean constantly marked by challenges and all kinds of adversity. I really remember never seeming like I had the right setup. We often talk about shifting seas and winds. Well, in that respect, coming to terms with entering the Indian Ocean is difficult, because they know it'll be like that for a month. It's a bit like approaching a wild animal. They have to keep a safe distance, find the right level of commitment, and not be too cocky. They have to try and focus on the routines they'll need to follow for the next 3 weeks, maybe a month, for those who've just entered the Indian Ocean. Over time, I suspect they'll realise that their bodies, their reflexes and their habits have gradually adapted to the hostile environment. In a month, they'll round Cape Horn and look back on it fondly. But you must try and keep a safe distance from the wild animal, so you don't get scratched or hurt.
Now,
not many people know this, but you were the substitute skipper for Johan Richomme on Paprec Archaea. What does it mean to be a substitute skipper in a Vendée Globe?
It means that the organisation is offering all racers and projects the chance to change skipper right at the last minute, even 10 days after the start. And so, to be eligible, you have to meet the same selection criteria for the project as the skipper. And that means that to qualify, you must log a certain number of nautical miles. And have the right qualifications too, including all the medical training. Now, I'd also say it's important to feel capable of sailing these new foiling boats. I was to be a substitute on a boat that can now hope to win, and had to be capable of sailing it well and standing in for the skipper. But that's the job I was given, and I was ready. I was keen as mustard.
So with regard to Johan, can you walk us through his performance?
What amazes me is how fresh he is. When I see the videos, he's still in good shape after a month or so of racing. A few days ago, I think Charlie Dallin's masterstroke in the low-pressure system near the Kerguelen Islands slightly affected him. It was something of a defining moment, like a set point in tennis. Let's be fair, the match is still far from over, but this shouldn't be allowed to go on. The 500-mile distance between Johan and Charlie could easily increase to 1,000 miles before you know it, particularly in the coming few days, as a high-pressure ridge might just decide the outcome of the whole race. I think he's on edge. I think he's working hard to recover lost ground, trying to avoid getting caught by that weather system, because it could make all the difference. So, the writing isn't on the wall yet, but he must feel some stress. The apprehension levels will be rising. He'll just be hoping this isn't match point.
One last question, Jan. Do you spend a lot of time on social media like Facebook, Instagram or TikTok?
Alors pas du tout, je vous avoue que moi je fais partie
Not at all.
ces marins,
I'm a bit of
un
an
peu
old-school
old
sailor, I guess part of the older generation that hasn't taken to social media. But when I see my children, I realise the new generation prefers this new form of communication. And to be honest, I think it's great, particularly for following the Vendée Globe.
Notamment si c'est pour suivre le Vendée Globe.
Alors justement, nous sommes allés à la
Well, we met up with Jules Lecourt, alias Jules26004, a young content creator who shares his passion for the Vendée Globe every day on social media. He has over 400,000 followers, mainly on TikTok.
Notamment sur TikTok.
I'm Jules Lecourt. I'm 20 and I create content on YouTube, Instagram and TikTok. Every day I post about the Vendée Globe in less than a minute, which people like. I like to dig up the info myself and add my personal touch. I've got no restrictions, so people get all the info from my videos. I'm here almost every day, taking tons of photos. I love this spot. It truly captures the spirit of Les Sables. Vendée Globe or pleasure boats in the channel entrance, they're all beautiful to me. This place is particularly special because my grandparents live in that white building over there.
J'ai fait toutes les arrivées du Vendée Globe 2020 de l'année dernière.
I saw the start and every finish of the 2020 Vendée Globe, even during lockdown, so it was a privilege to share content on my socials. I wasn't super well known back then, but I posted stories for those who couldn't be there. I followed every edition since 2012, and this year I've done more with my videos. I've got tons of cool things. I even got the stamps of each skipper issued by the French Post Office. I bought Sam Davis' boat in Lego. Had great fun building that. These are the microphones I use to film in the village and to interview the skippers.
Today,
Sébastien Simon will take us around his 2024 Vendée Globe in Mocha.
I'm Sébastien Simon, I'm 34, I'm from Les Sables, and I'm the skipper of Groupe de Broye in the Vendée Globe.
And here are newspaper articles about me. It's an honour for my parents and my family. It's strange to see your name in the papers. It's an achievement and a source of pride.
Un accomplissement.
I listen carefully until I have the info. I love him. That's Boris Herman, speaking English. Sometimes I don't understand. My video must stay under a minute, packed with essential information. Big damage to Lazare. Kajiro has a mainsail problem. I'll say that. It's crazy what the boats endure. Watching videos of the swell and the waves, it's like, whoa, it's mind-blowing. Here Samantha is, completely alone, in the middle of the Indian Ocean. When I see them out there solo, I know I could never do it, but their courage and their passion amaze me. When they talk about their experiences, you can feel it's their whole life. It's what they love. That's what's so inspiring. I love it.
Et donc là, je sais de quoi je vais parler. Par contre, il faut que je sache de quoi je vais parler en premier pour attirer.
I need a strong opening to grab attention. The leaders are Dallas, Simon, Richom. No need to jot that down. I've got it covered.
Donc ça, du coup, j'ai pas besoin de l'écrire, je le sais.
3 buttons are broken.
Cassé. Je prends mon micro.
I'll grab my mic and record my voice. I put it in front, like this, and film with my screen in front. It's better with the light on.
Bonjour à tous, on se retrouve aujourd'hui.
Hi everyone, here are the latest Vendée Globe updates for the 6th of December. Leading the rankings, first Charlie Dalin, Massif, second Sébastien Simon, Groupe de Broye, and third Johan Richom, Paprec Archaea.
Là, j'ai déjà fait mon classement.
My ranking's finished, all done, no need to redo it. I've edited out my breathing. And now, let's talk about the skippers. Damage for Tanguy Le Turquet and Groupe Lazare, 3 mainsail battens broken. I'm just downloading it. I download everything onto my phone. Who cares about that bit? I'm cutting it. a bit at the end too. Then I'll add the video of Tanguy doing the repairs. I usually stumble on Dennis van Weenberg. Got it. The timing's right because I worked it out. Have a great weekend. So that's it for Friday. It's a minute, well, 1 minute, 1 second.
1 minute 01. Là, on est presque à un mois.
We're nearly a month in, and I'm still as hooked as ever. My audience, well, it's pretty young, mostly 18 to 25, and the idea really is to introduce the Vendée Globe to newcomers. I'm not trying to make them love it, just spark their interest.
Qui s'intéressent.